Number 8. Brainiac.
Brainiac is one of those villains that we all kind of know. He's essentially, technology gone wrong. And that's kind of frightening. I mean, Brainiac is hell bent on pretty much destroying all organic life. And as we are organics, we should take that threat seriously. And the other thing that's interesting about this guy is that he has multiple incarnations. In fact, he has I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The list goes on. No, I have to make note that there's one Brainiac that doesn't fit the bill, and that's, the Brainiac from, I don't know, what's that fucking comic? Legion of Superheroes. Where the Brainiac there is trying to atone for his forefathers' sins. So, he's a pretty impressive character because he really just can't die. He always finds a new way to come back as either an organic or as a robot or what have you. Personally, my favorite incarnation of this is the Superman animated series by Bruce Timm. He's diabolically logical, which is frightening. So I gotta give it to the big brain.
Number 7. Anti-Monitor.
The Anti-Monitor. Now, again, this is a character I'm not too familiar with. I'm not too familiar with some of these lesser known DC villains, but when I saw him in the Sinestro Corps, I had chills go down my spine. You just knew this guy was bad news and was a badass. And then later when I found out that he almost destroyed the DC universe utterly and completely, that's pretty cool. You got to hand it to this guy. He's intimidating. Just go back and look at that goddamn picture. He's intimidating. He's evil. He is, well, the Anti-Monitor.
Number 6. Trigon.
Trigon. Essentially the devil himself. He is evil incarnate. Dastardly, powerful, and the father of one of the most popular characters in the Teen Titans comic book series, Raven. He's got some connections. And the other fact is that he's using his daughter as a way to bring him back into this world. That's evil. Now, I have to admit that Trigon would have made it higher on the list if it wasn't for the sheer fact that he was only really intimidating and awe-inspiring the very first time he was introduced. The other few times he's been brought in, he's been less than impressive. So, yeah, I got to put this guy where he is. Because, well, he's been overexposed. It's kind of like how Doomsday was overexposed. And how, Onslaught was overexposed. These characters should have been just one-hit wonders and just left at that.
Number 5. Sinestro.
Sinestro. I love this guy because you can understand where he's coming from. He doesn't see himself as evil or as really a villain. He sees himself as the only sane person in the universe. He believes in ruling the people of his own planet with fear. And while he was a Green Lantern, that's exactly what he did. Through fear and totalitarian tactics. Say that 5 times fast. However, this backfires in his face when Hal Jordan joins up and essentially gets him kicked out of the Lantern Corps. And he swears revenge. And from that point on, he's been obsessed with trying to destroy the Lantern Corps. In fact, he was so obsessed with destroying the Green Lantern Corps that he made his own Lantern Corps. That's amazing. And then he recruits such, villains as Cyborg Superman, Superboy Prime, the Anti-Monitor. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. So Sinestro really is a great villain, and once again, he doesn't see himself that way, which makes him all the more twisted and evil.
Number 4, Deathstroke, the Terminator.
Deathstroke the Terminator is possibly my most favorite Teen Titan villain of all time. This guy just fucks with the minds of the Titans. Essentially, he was a hitman who was hired to kill the Titans, but fails, but continues to try to thwart them and make their lives miserable. And especially after the fact that his 2 children join the Titans, and he kills one and horribly mentally scars the other one to the point where she goes crazy and stabs out her own eye to be like her father. That's evil. And then he has done so much to the Teen Titans. It really, I would have to do an entire video on just him. But I think the greatest thing that he did recently was create an evil Titans East with the sole purpose of taking out the Teen Titans and bringing in former Teen Titans, clones of Teen Titans, and so on and so forth, to essentially attack the minds and the spirits of the Teen Titans. This guy's pretty impressive when it comes down to it. And he's one of the greatest martial artists in the DC universe. Probably only topped by, Batman and Karate Kid. So, I gotta hand it to this guy. This guy is just evil, and I love it so.
The clamps that are holding their little heads so tight, putting my lips to their ears as I whisper, please don't fight. I promise I'll let you go home if you swear not to tell a soul. Well, I'll just untie these, I'm kidding. Now where is my chainsaw? Let's rock and roll.